Back by whatever the opposite of popular demand is, the amazing Randy Kirk is joining us. He's got some really good ones today. The top 10 questions we would ask Elon if we had him here right now or even on the shareholder call. I'm Brian. Welcome to My Tesla Weekend. Randy, you back. What happened?
I was in the neighborhood.
That's right. That's right. I've actually been to that little theme park in your neighborhood.
Have you? Yeah.
The little mini golf one with
Mickey and Minnie?
No, Riverside.
Oh, the one in Riverside. Oh, you have?
Oh, I have. Yeah, I had a Groupon.
Yes. Yeah, I've been there once. I have no desire to go back. Oh, yeah.
Oh, so we're doing something very special today. When this show ends, I'm going to ask Randy all these questions, but I'm not going to answer them myself. If you want to hear my answers, you'll have to head over to Randy's channel when this video ends to check it out. We're doing a crossover episode.
And my answers are supposed to be way better than your answers, so.
To be determined. We shall see.
Maybe we should have a, is there a way we could have a vote?
Oh,
people could vote in the comments below.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. The question I would ask is, what question would you want answered? Maybe we'll answer that. Number one, is Optimus capable of doing useful tasks right now? How many different useful tasks? You've advertised that to hire someone to design and construct a production line. So do you expect mass production in 2024? And when are you going to sell to the public?
Well, so I don't do voices, so I can't do Elon's voice, unfortunately. You probably do voices, I don't. So we'll see how you do. I do have, though, I suppose, right over here, I could do it this way. So I will answer the question now. This is my answer to the question about, no?
No, it's fine.
Don't do it. Okay, all right. All right, so the answer to your question is that, in fact, the bot is doing many useful tasks right now. It can do pick and place. It can do putting things into boxes. It can take things out of boxes and put them on the line. It can line up production into different statuses and statuses. It can do quality control, like looking and seeing what's good and what's not good. And so, yes, it has many, many things it can already do. We are training them at the rate of about 2 or 3 productive jobs per day, so that by the end of the year, we will probably have about 1,000 different things that these bots can do. And of course, if one can do them, all of them can do them. So that would be the goal for the end of the year that we've set, is that they'll have 1,000 factory jobs that they can do. And yes, we have definitely hired somebody to set up the line. The goal is to be in full production by the middle of next year and to hit a run rate of 1 million bots per year by the end of the year, at which point, once we've got about 40,000 of them working in our facilities and in the facilities of our third-party partners, then we will start selling or offering them to the public on a lease basis, and the lease amount is yet to be determined.
Interesting. I have very strong thoughts, but you'll have to go over to Randy's channel to hear them. Number 2, you've stated that the semi-truck is much more effective at reducing carbon and particulates than cars. You had the semi on your picture of products for Master Plan 3, but you didn't indicate how many. So how many semis and large trucks are you thinking?
Yeah, so I've made my prediction, which was supposed to be 50,000 of them in 2024, and then unfortunately I'm going to be late on that, which is, kind of my style, to always do the impossible, but to do it late. And so those will be late, but we'll be starting to make them in late 2024 and be in full production in 2025, and that was mostly a battery issue. So going forward, that continues to be the big issue. These trucks are going to require very, very large amounts of the 4680 batteries. And so the question is, how soon are we fully ramped on 4680s, and how quickly can we really make enough to supply lots and lots of semis? So right now, if I was going to pick a number, I would say I'd love to be doing at least 250,000 by the end of the decade. But we know there's a much larger TAM, but maybe that would be a good makeable goal for now.
Number 3, what is the hardest remaining issue or issues that need to be solved for FSD? Are they specific kinds of edge cases? Is there anything other than the data and compute that is still needed to get the job done?
Yes, so I was watching a program, actually it was a program about robots last night called Finch. And Finch made the comment, he made the statement, he said, as we're driving across this, war zone after the flare has happened on Earth, and he says, we can deal with animals, we can deal with rocks, and we can deal with tornadoes, all those kind of things. The one thing that is unpredictable and that is impossible to deal with is humans. So the biggest problem that we have going forward with FSD is dealing with humans. So yes, we know how fast to go in a lane, we can stay in the lane, we can get off the freeway, but it's when that silly human is trying to decide whether or not to step off the curb, that's the final remaining problem. And it gets really complicated in places like downtowns where there's pedestrian traffic during office hours, and they go before the light changes to walk, and they continue to walk after it says don't walk. And man, it really gets tough with all those humans out there. But once we get the humans solved, we'll be good.
Do you expect to expand Shanghai and make the Gen 3 vehicle in the current factory or nearby? Or will Gen 3 for Asia and export have to be built somewhere else? And, for that matter, will Gen 3 be built at Giga Berlin?
So the issue with regard to Shanghai has to do with the Communist Party. we're working with the chairman directly, and we're trying to get him to move mountains so that we can open up the second facility. That I said tongue-in-cheek, because of course I would never say anything on air with regard to a negative thing about the Chinese party. So the Communist Party. So our goal is definitely to make Gen 3 vehicles in Shanghai at or near the facility that we currently have, depending on how much space we're able to save with the Highland. If we can save a lot of space with the Highland, we might start making Gen 3 vehicles in Shanghai. And yes, the new facilities that will be built shortly in Berlin, we'll be announcing those shortly. We will definitely be making Gen 3 in Berlin.
You've stated that the lithium refinery will be operational in early 2024. Is that still on track? Jordan from The Limiting Factor estimated that the facility would create value to Tesla in the tens of billions. Were his numbers what you are seeing?
So the goal for getting the lithium factory going by the first quarter of next year is still intact, but I'm going to hedge just a little bit. It's, there's a lot of complicated things that need to be done, and there's always certain things that you can't be sure of. So let's just say that the lithium factory, the lithium refinery, will be operational in 2024. It just might be late as usual. With regard to the value, obviously I made the statement over and over and over again that owning a lithium refinery was an opportunity to print money. So entrepreneurs out there, go ahead, man, open up another refinery. We could use all the refineries that you could possibly build right now. So it's an opportunity to print money. Yes, it will be tens of billions of dollars of saving to Tesla.
In order to produce megapacks anywhere close to the estimate in Master Plan 3, new capacity needs to come online real soon. How many megafactories do we expect to see built between now and the end of 2025? And will they be similar to Lathrop in capacity or bigger?
Yeah, so the Lathrop facility is turned out to be much better than expected. And so, yes, we are planning to add on to the Lathrop facility. That'll be announced very shortly. But we got Shanghai that's not yet, up to where it can produce anything yet. So we'd like to see how the first cookie cutter is going. We know that Lathrop is doing well, but we'd like to see how well we do on the first cookie cutter, and then we'll start making announcements. But yes, we will be announcing multiple additional factories. We want these to be either very close to where the customer is, meaning us or other customers that we're selling them to, or we want them to be very close to where the ore is, or the refined ore is. We want to be close, or the battery manufacturing facility. These things are so freight intensive. So we want to reduce the freight as much as possible. So a lot of the locations that we decide on will be based on those considerations.
You think way ahead on all your projects. There's a lot to do between FSD at level 5 and a robotaxi fleet being turned on. Regulatory agencies satisfied, apps created, marketing to users. How long do you think it will be between the day you say it is okay to play games while driving and when robotaxi will actually roll out? How long is before there is wide coverage in the US?
Well, I appreciate you noticing that we were actually building out the charging stations and putting the FSD cameras in cars years and years and years before we were going to need all of that infrastructure and all of that capacity in the automobiles, unlike any other car company that could even be doing so now, and they still aren't. So yes, we do like to think way in advance. So yes, the app is practically ready to go. We have employees that are already sitting in the laps of these regulatory agencies and showing them our progress on a daily basis. So when we actually get to the point of being able to roll this thing out, we would expect several of the states in the United States and a number of different countries to immediately see our numbers and immediately agree to allowing us to go to robotaxis. So it will not be a long rollout. I mean, internationally, yes, there will be some that will be naysayers. You could think of maybe New York City. You could think of maybe other places where there will be resistance from taxi companies or others. But overall, the rollout will be very quick, because all this stuff is in place.
So do you think if total U.S. sales of Model Y, if you look at them, they're heavily concentrated in California. Do you think Model Y can be adopted in the same kind of ratio throughout the rest of the U.S. as it is currently in California?
So this is an absolute part of the plan, and it's part of the reason why I become a right-winger. I was.
You see,
I already
folks,
had the hearts.
You see, folks, this is Elon we're talking to here, not Randy. He's been possessed. He's a medium, an extra medium, if you ask me.
So I'm not a right winger. Please understand. I'm in the center. I'm in the absolute center. I have plenty of my beliefs that are on both sides of that center. And so I just want everybody to love me and everybody to appreciate me. So, but yes, there is a great number of places in the United States where the Model Y is not selling yet. It's barely, it'd be like California or Oregon 10 years ago. You would have to go a long way before you see a Model Y. Well, it is now time for the rest of the world, the rest of the United States to catch on. And we anticipate that would happen just by the natural trend of things, where things start in California, they start in Florida, they start in New York, and then they move to the center of the country. So we certainly expect the overall take rate in the rest of the U.S. to be similar to what it is in California now.
So will you be offering a lower cost version of FSD for customers who are not going to be using it in a commercial setting like robotaxi?
Yeah, so one of my girlfriends told me that she was never, ever going to allow her car to be sent out for robotaxi because she doesn't want other people getting in her car and messing it up and, leaving things in there and leaving their smells and everything else behind. And so she was not, she wants to have robotaxi. She wants to be able to drive it around town or have it drive her around town. That's an absolute certainty. But she didn't want to put it out for robotaxi. So she didn't want to spend $50,000 or $75,000 or even $20,000 for robotaxi, for the capability to do a robotaxi, if in fact she was never going to get the income from it. So I heard her, because I listen carefully. I'm one of those kind of guys. And I listened carefully to what she was saying, and I realized, yes, we need to have a lower price point for those who never plan to use it as a business. So we haven't figured out all the details yet, but maybe it'll be part of the subscription plan, or maybe you'll be able to buy it outright at a lower cost. And then if you do want to rent it out for robotaxi later, you can pay the difference when you're ready to do that.
I love it. I love it. I disagree with a number of these, but those answers will be provided in the companion video, which is going to look awfully similar to this, except maybe with different logos, probably with better editing. And it is available right now over on Randy's channel, a link in the description. That's going to be a lot of fun. I do want to say that a reminder, if you guys like this, we've got 10 more questions we could do next week if you like. And that would be fun too, if this is interesting. If not, you know what? I get it. I don't always want to look at this mug either. So I did want to thank
their own questions. They can add questions too.
Ask questions in the comments. Get to it, you all. I do want to thank my patrons who get early access, bonus content, all that kind of stuff. And you can also support me on Patreon, YouTube membership, or Twitter. Subscribe. Those are all ways to do it. But I did want to thank Randy Kirk and Mr. Musk for joining us today. So stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots in a matter of minutes over on Randy's channel.